very good morning and welcome to The Brief, Sri Lanka's first ever made-for-YouTube news bulletin. Your trending stories this morning. Prime Minister Wickremesinghe wraps up tour to Japan. Value of Sri Lankan rupee appreciating. And the video of blast involving Maldivian president released to the media. On the fourth and final day of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe's visit to Japan, he met with Japanese Emperor Akihito.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was extended a warm welcome upon his arrival for discussions at the Imperial Palace in Japan. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe attended a joint press conference with his Japanese counterpart Shinzo Abe last night.
Japan, the public and private sector stands together, stands ready to make positive contributions through cooperation as the new government of Sri Lanka ambitiously embarks upon efforts to tackle challenges such as economic reform, national reconciliation and good governance.
Japan must be allowed to resume its rightful place in the global community. The decisions taken here today will be placed before Parliament to ensure not merely bilateral support, but that the Parliament as a whole agrees with this statement.
The Sri Lankan rupee, which depreciated drastically over the past few weeks, has once again begun to appreciate. According to figures released by the central bank, $1 was valued at approximately 140 rupees and 50 cents.
With the decision taken by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka on the 4th of September to float the value of the Sri Lankan rupee, the value of the rupee depreciated drastically. The exchange rate of the Sri Lankan rupee to the US dollar, which stood near the 136 mark, rose to 141 rupees to a dollar. Industry analysts point out that the rupee has started to appreciate as a result of commercial banks selling US dollars. Analysts also point out that another reason for the rupee to appreciate may be an outcome of the Prime Minister's current tour of Japan, where $380 million was pledged to help develop basic infrastructure facilities in Sri Lanka.
On the 28th of last month, Sri Lanka celebrated 15 years since sprint queen Susantika Jayasinghe won the silver medal for Sri Lanka at the Olympic Games. An event to felicitate the sprinter was held yesterday under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. During the event, her official website was also launched.
A group including the Minister of Sports and other officials attended the event presided over by the President at the Foundation Institute in Colombo. We discussed the status of sports this morning. The government had decided to immediately commence a national program that is aimed at reviving sports in the country. We seek the support of all sectors. In the past, there were shortcomings and weaknesses in the sports sector. I am aware of that situation. I will not blame any of the former ministers of sports. I was aware of the circumstances that led to this. When I was the Minister of Health, I had to face many difficulties. If I could have served as the Minister of Health freely and independently during those 5 years, there would have been significant changes in the health sector. The sports sector faced a far more worse situation.
And finally this morning, 2 aides of Maldivian President Yamin Abdul Gayoom have been arrested in connection to an explosion on his boat last month, with authorities now saying that the blast was an attempted assassination rather than a mechanical failure as initially thought.
Mohammad Hussain Sharif, a minister at the President's office, announced investigators subsequently discounted the mechanical failure theory. Both suspects had access to the boat in the line of their duty but did not mention their specific alleged role in the bombing. The President escaped unscathed from the blast, which took place just over a week ago as he was returning to the island nation's capital city Male from the Hajj pilgrimage in Mecca. His wife suffered minor injuries, however, while a bodyguard and another aide were hospitalized.
Well, that's a wrap of The Brief for today. For the News First team, I'm Ramesh Bandara reminding you to stay briefed.